From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It was another day and another expose for the Prime Minister who in the Parliament today tore into the Vadra Congress narrative built to undermine the nation. He made it clear it is hashtag nation above all, but more importantly, he showed the mirror to the decaying grand old party or whatever is left of it. He was precise, he was clear, and he was unsparing. Here's a look, and then we debate.
व्याप्त हुआ बर्बर अंधेरा, किंतु चीरकर तम की छाती, किंतु चीरकर तम की छाती, चमका हिंदुस्तान हमारा। कांग्रेस जब सत्ता में रही, देश का विकास नहीं होने दिया। अब विपक्ष में है तो देश के विकास में बाधा डाल रही है। अब कांग्रेस को नेशन पर भी आपत्ति है, नेशन पर आपत्ति है। मैं गुजरात में था, मुझ पर क्या क्या जुल्म हुए हैं दिल्ली सरकार के द्वारा, इतिहास गवाह है। क्या कुछ नहीं हुआ मेरे साथ, गुजरात के साथ क्या 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 नहीं हुआ। लेकिन उस कालखंड में भी हर दिन, आप मेरे रिकॉर्ड देख लीजिए, मुख्यमंत्री के नाते मैं हमेशा एक ही बात कहता था कि गुजरात का मंत्र क्या है, देश के विकास के लिए गुजरात का विकास। हमेशा दिल्ली में किसकी सरकार है सोच करके नहीं करते थे, देश के विकास के लिए गुजरात का विकास। और ये बहुत दुखद है, जिनको दशकों तक सरकार चलाने का मौका मिला और उन्होंने राज्यों के साथ कैसे कैसे दमन किए थे। सब यहां बैठे हैं, भुक्तभोगी लोग बैठे हुए हैं, कैसे कैसे दमन किया था। करीब करीब 100 बार राष्ट्रपति शासन ला करके राज्य सरकार, चुनी हुई राज्य सरकारों को उखाड़ के फेंक दिया गया। आंध्र प्रदेश के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री टी अंजय जी के साथ क्या हुआ था, ये सदन के अनेक नेता अच्छी तरह जानते हैं। प्रधानमंत्री के बेटे को एयरपोर्ट पर उनका प्रबंध पसंद नहीं आया तो उनको बर्खास्त कर दिया। लता मंगेशकर जी के छोटे भाई पंडित हृदयनाथ मंगेशकर जी, गोवा का गौरवपूर्ण संतान, गोवा की धरती का बेटा, उन्हें ऑल इंडिया रेडियो से निकाल दिया गया। वो ऑल इंडिया रेडियो में काम करते हैं। और उनका गुनाह क्या था? उनका गुनाह यह था तो उन्होंने वीर सावरकर की एक देशभक्ति से भरी कविता की ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर प्रस्तुति दी थी। ये डेमोक्रेसी आपकी मेहरबानी से नहीं है, हमारे कुर्बानी से। और आपको 1975 में डेमोक्रेसी का गला घोंटने वालों को डेमोक्रेसी का गौरव मैं आज कहना चाहता हूं कि फारूक अब्दुल्ला जी की सरकार को किसने अस्थिर किया था? चौधरी देवीलाल जी की सरकार को किसने अस्थिर किया था? चौधरी चरण सिंह जी की सरकार को किसने अस्थिर किया था? पंजाब में सरदार बादल की सरकार के किसने बर्खास्त किया था? अंतर्राष्ट्रीय छवि का क्या होगा, ये उनकी सबसे बड़ी चिंता का विषय था पंडित नेहरू को। दुनिया में मेरी छवि बिगड़ जाएगी तो, और इसलिए उनको लगता था कि गोवा की औपनिवेशिक सरकार पर आक्रमण करने से उनकी जो एक ग्लोबल लीडर की शांति प्रिय नेता की छवि है वो चकनाचूर हो जाएगी। गोवा को जो होता है होने दो, गोवा को जो झेलना पड़े झेलने दो, मेरी छवि को कोई नुकसान ना हो। और इसलिए जब वहां सत्याग्रहों पर गोलियां चल रही, विदेशी सल्तनत गोलियां चला रही थी, हिंदुस्तान का हिस्सा, हिंदुस्तान के ही मेरे भाई बहन, उन पर गोलियां चल रही थी, और तब हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा था कि मैं सेना नहीं दूंगा। अगर महात्मा गांधी की इच्छा के अनुसार कांग्रेस न होती तो क्या होता? लोकतंत्र परिवारवाद से मुक्त होता। भारत विदेशी चश्मे के बजाय स्वदेशी संकल्पों के रास्ते पर चलता। अगर कांग्रेस न होती तो इमरजेंसी का कलंक न होता। अगर कांग्रेस न होती तो दशकों तक करप्शन को संस्थागत बनाकर नहीं रखा जाता। अगर कांग्रेस न होती तो जातिवाद और क्षेत्रवाद की खाई इतनी गहरी न होती। अगर कांग्रेस न होती, अगर कांग्रेस न होती तो सिखों का नरसंहार न होता।
And there has been so much debate over the Prime Minister's speeches of 2 days that, ladies and gentlemen, I thought tonight on the debate, let us invite a senior Congress leader and a national spokesperson of the BJP and let there be a collision of views and ideas. So we have invited Dr. Rashid Alvi, a very, very senior leader of the Congress party, former member of parliament, and GVL Narasimha Rao of the debate. Mr. Alvi, good to see you on the debate. I want to debate what the Prime Minister said.
No,
Can you hear me, Mr. Alvi? I want to debate.
Yeah. Hello. I can hear you, but I do not want to be part of debate. If you want to ask any question, I will answer. Can you hear me?
Why don't you want to be part of the debate?
Can you hear me?
With a BJP spokesperson? I can hear you.
Because... No. Yeah. I have already said I will not be a part of debate. Your man has asked me to be only for 10 minutes. And for 10 minutes I am here. I will answer your questions. But I will not be a part of your debate.
Okay. So, Mr. Alvi, I tell you one thing. I always enjoy one-on-one conversations with people from the Congress. In 2014, I had a one-on-one conversation with your ex-president. I enjoyed it greatly. You can ask him whether he enjoyed it. My first question, Mr. Alvi, if you're ready. Narendra Modi's... my first question to you, Mr. Alvi.
Please.
If you're ready, may I ask you my first question? You have given me 10 minutes. I will take 11 minutes. My first question.
Sure.
Narendra Modi said that who is the Congress to lecture us on federalism when there was a Prime Minister of India who imposed president's rule and removed elected government 50 times? Was he referring to Indira Gandhi? Yes or no?
I have heard his speech. I am very sorry to say I have been member of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha also. But I have never heard any speech of any Prime Minister at a time when he is talking about the motion of thanks on President's address, whether it was the time to criticize Congress party. And from day one, he was talking, Gandhiji wanted to disband Congress party. If Modi Sahab is talking about
Yes, he did.
about
He
the
did.
wish of Gandhiji, then with due respect, I want to say, Modi Sahab, you should talk about freedom of movement also. Congress party fought
One
for the
second.
freedom of
Answer
Congress.
my question now,
Where were
Mr.
you?
Alvi. Mr. Alvi.
Where were the forefathers?
Mr. Alvi,
Where were
I'll
the
tell you one thing.
RSS?
Mr. Alvi,
Yeah.
Mr. Alvi, listen to me. Mr. Alvi, listen to
Yes.
me. Don't get angry.
Yeah.
I know that you have not
Yeah.
faced me for a long time and you are therefore coming here with a shield. Don't worry. Remove your shield. Face me. Have no fear. My
I'm
question
not
to you is,
I am not.
you were
angry,
the
I am
ones who,
also-
your
I
party
don't have
started a
any
debate
fear.
on federalism.
I don't have any fear.
Your party started a debate on federalism, Mr. Alvi. I say that you are the greatest threat
Yeah.
to federalism.
Yeah.
When Indira Gandhi imposed president's rule for 50 times, 35 times between 1966 and 1977, 15 times between 1980 and 1984, which means every 2 months, 3 months you removed an elected government.
What?
Who are you to talk about federalism, sir? This is your track record.
What she, listen to me, what she did according to the constitution of the country. But what? Modi Sahab and BJP has done? What happened in...
Well,
what
according
happened
to
in
the constitution,
Karnataka? What happened
you
in Madhya
dismissed
Pradesh?
50.
Listen.
You dismissed 50 state governments according to the constitution. You dismissed 50 state governments, one every 2 months because of the constitution. You abuse the constitution, sir. Please.
You are not allowing me to answer. What can I do? Let first have patience, please.
You can try to answer.
Let me answer your question. Yeah, I am not trying, I am answering. You know what happened in Madhya Pradesh, whether it was according to the constitution? What happened in Manipur? What happened in Goa? In so many states.
What happened in
What
Manipur?
BJP
What happened
has
in
done?
Goa? No, one minute.
you are
What happened
talking
in
about
Manipur? What happened in
president's
Goa?
rule during
1 minute,
Indira
1
Gandhi.
minute.
And
Let me tell you,
one
sir.
thing.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Please,
let me.
1 minute.
No, you take my
Please.
point. You asked me a question. I always answer the question. Whether or not someone answers me, I answer the question. You asked me what happened in Madhya Pradesh. What happened is that you became a minority government and lost government. There was no emergency rule. There was no president's rule. You became a minority and a minority can't run a government. Now you tell me what happened in 1957 when Nehru removed the EMS Namboothri-Path government by seeking a report from the governor recommending the dismissal of the government. What happened then? Who are you? My point is, sir, how can you even talk about federalism? You become the biggest threat to federalism. Why did Arunachal Pradesh have to suffer president's rule, sir? You tell me. Why? Why, sir?
Whether you are supporting horse trading, you are supporting horse trading in Madhya Pradesh, in Goa, in so many states, whether it is according to the constitution, I am sorry.
Was it horse trading? Was it horse trading? Did EMS Namboothri-Path government, did Nehru dismiss it because of horse trading?
Please.
Did he? No. Nehru instructed the Intelligence Bureau to read out the report on the phone so that the presidential proclamation imposing central rule is not delayed. You use the Intelligence Bureau to dismiss a government and now you are talking about federalism. You use the Intelligence Bureau to dismiss the government.
You are not
Acknowledge,
listening
sir.
to me.
Accept your guilt.
You are not listening to me.
I am listening very closely. I am
You are
listening
not
very
listening
closely.
to me. There is no guilt on my part. Listen
Very
to me.
closely.
Listen to me. Please, you are anchor. You are not, please, my dear brother, you are anchor. You are not a spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party. He is very much there.
No, 1 second,
Whether
1 second,
this is
1
the
second.
right time to
I'll
talk
tell you,
what
Mr.
happened in
Alvi.
1950.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Alvi. I am an anchor, but you don't have any right to tell me what my duties as an anchor are. I am asking you questions which other anchors don't have the capacity or maybe the intellectual depth to ask you. You answer. I'll also tell you, you are a politician. Don't tell me. You are a politician, you answer. I am an anchor, my job is to ask questions.
No.
Now, you are a politician, you answer. Do your job as a politician. The anchor will ask questions, you answer.
You are talking 5 minutes and you are giving me 15 seconds. How can I answer your question? Please listen, have patience. Whether this is the right time to discuss what happened in 1957, whether it is the right time to talk about Indira Gandhi's, this is the time what BJP has done in last 8 years. Whether they have done anything positive or not. What happened during COVID.
Okay.
We should discuss what happened about Kala Dhan.
No, 1 minute.
We should talk about the job for
1 second.
youngsters.
1 second.
No. I
want to. You know
Jawaharlal
something.
Nehru was the great freedom fighter.
You know something, Mr. I'll restrict my views on that.
You are talking.
You want to know about a freedom fighter? Bhagat Singh was a freedom fighter. Uddham Singh was a freedom fighter. You know who was a real freedom fighter? Uddham Singh, Bhagat Singh, Netaji. First, you should have treated them with respect. Then forget that a member of a feudal family should be called a freedom fighter greater than them. Now let me tell you, I have my perspective on history. Will you take one question on China? Your leader is very keen to talk about China. By the way, I wonder, why doesn't he face me anymore? Tell him, no? Arnab is challenging you. Face me. No, you tell your leader, one thing. That your party people... No, 1 second. You tell your leader, since you're a senior Congress leader, tell him one thing. That your Congress party people carried out an acid attack on Arnab and his wife in Mumbai. Your party leaders celebrated. You don't have to do all that. Have the courage to face me one-on-one. Questions, one-on-one. You convey the message. Now question to you. Tell me one thing. China. I feel you agree with me or not, Mr. Alvi, that the India-China war, the Nehru government chose to remain blissfully ignorant. In the 1950s, Chinese maps showed Aksai Chin as Chinese territory. Nehru did nothing. And your attitude has not changed. Why don't you reveal what is your arrangement with the Chinese? What is in the paper which your leader signed? Sonia Gandhi was standing there, your leader went and signed a paper facing, I think there was Xi Jinping or Chinese Communist Party there. Why are you keeping that paper a secret? Why don't you tell us? I want that paper, Mr. Alvi, please. I want an exclusive. I want that paper. The nation wants to see that paper. What was in the paper? Why is it so secret? What is the arrangement between you and the Chinese Communist Party? Please. Please reveal it. Don't you want to know what was signed there?
It appears as I am here to hear your speech. Allow me to speak.
No, it's a question.
Bhagat Singh, he was against...
I'm allowing you.
Okay, I'm coming to your question.
You heard my
now.
question.
Bhagat Singh was... I'm coming to your question also. Bhagat Singh was against the ideology of RSS. Bhagat Singh was against the ideology of all these people. And as far as your question is concerned, you tell me, you are a very educated person, what was the first budget in 1947 of the government of India? Please tell me. What was the budget? How much revenue this country had that time? Tell me. Tell me. You do not know, I tell you.
Just one second.
The total revenue of this country
No, 1 second. Mr. Alvi, Mr. Alvi, no. Hello. Mr. Alvi. Mr. Alvi, are you telling me that the Congress party, founded by a British man called A.O. Hume, is responsible for the wealth of India? How can you make a comment like that? You think you own the country? How do you make a claim to the country's revenue, sir? How do you make a claim to the country's revenue? It's the people's wealth, not a party's wealth. Please don't make a comment like that.
It is not the proper way to talk.
Yes?
Either allow me to talk.
What is the proper way to talk?
Allow me to answer your question.
What is the proper way to talk?
If you do not know
I'm
if
asking
you are unable
I want to ask you one more question.
If you are unable to, if you are, listen to me first.
Yes.
If you do not know what was the total budget in 1947, it was only 197 crores. And 60% of the budget was spent on defense. It was the condition of India when China attacked on India. The total budget was. And 26 crores was the deficit in the budget. You are talking about China and 1962. Why are you not talking what China
Mr. Alvi,
is doing today?
Tell me one thing. Mr. Alvi,
Why are you not discussing
Mr.
it?
Alvi, I'll tell you.
You are talking about 70 years back, what happened?
But Mr. Alvi,
you are not talking what happening now.
Mr. Alvi, no. Why should I? I'll
doing?
talk about now. 1 second. I'll tell you. Okay. So I'll tell you. Mr. Alvi, first of all, see, I'll tell you one thing. I'm talking to you. You are shouting at me. Why are you shouting at me? I'm talking to you. My question to you is this.
I am not shouting.
First,
I am not shouting.
You're getting excited. My question to you, Mr. Alvi, is,
I am not
in
excited.
April 2013, since you people are giving lectures on China nowadays, there were reports that the Chinese army went into Daulat Beg Oldi in Ladakh. Manmohan Singh was in power, you were in power, Sonia Gandhi was in power. What was your duty? You started pleading to the Chinese. Salman Khurshid, I think, was foreign minister at that time, right? He even tried to justify the response, saying the response should not be seen as timid or robust, or whether it is proportional. He was hiding behind English. Why were you so timid with the Chinese in 2013? Why? Why were you so timid? And having been timid, what is your right to lecture a government that is building infrastructure, building capacity that you did not for 60 years? And Mr. Alvi, I'm quite good at geostrategy. Please tell me. You were totally timid with the Chinese. You have a secret arrangement with the Chinese. You've signed some secret document with the Chinese. Why? Why don't you reveal the document? Now I'm asking you again, reveal the document. Give us I want the document, Mr. Alvi. I know that you will be able to give me access to it.
If there are, no, I do
What
not
is secret?
want to defend.
You're a national
Just
party,
what
reveal
I'm
the
saying, if there are secret dealing, listen to me. If there are certain documents against the country, why the government of India is not arresting those people? They should be put behind the bars. Why are you talking on TV? If they have done anything wrong.
Why? So you are saying
why Narendra Modi and Prime Minister
you are saying
doesn't take any action? Action should be taken. Actually, what is your problem? You just make false propaganda on your TV channel. If anybody has done anything wrong,
so I'm okay, Mr. Alvi, let me tell you,
Why
Mr. Alvi,
these people
Mr.
are not
Mr.
behind
Alvi,
the
Mr.
bars?
Alvi,
Always
let me tell you,
talk
let me tell
about
you,
documents,
let me tell you, Mr. Alvi,
we had certain
Mr. Alvi,
agreement
Mr.
with
Alvi,
China. What
Mr.
is
Alvi, Mr. Alvi, listen to me, first of
Be
all.
positive. Please
Okay,
talk
listen
about
to me. See, listen to me. First, will you convey to your leader, I want to face him face to face. Now listen to me. Tell me, your government signed,
Why should I
there's a
convey?
picture,
You should
and Xi
convey
Jinping
yourself.
was smiling in the background. Xi Jinping was smiling in the background. Sonia Gandhi was standing there. Why are you getting irritated? I'm telling you, 2008, you signed an MOU. Xi Jinping and Sonia Gandhi were standing there as witness. What is the problem? Why don't you declare, this is what we signed, this is the document, put a sworn affidavit. Say, Arnab is a terrible person. He keeps asking questions. He is a real, pain for us. But even if you abuse me, but declare the document, declare the deal with China. Declare it. I don't. You have it. It must be in some cupboard in the 24 Akbar Road. Reveal it. Reveal it. What is your MOU?
Those documents, go to the.
About?
Oh my God! If you have that.
I don't have. No, you must get it for me.
Documents, go to police station, lodge FIR, And Narendra Modi
No,
will
no, I
take
don't have
action
the
against them.
documents, and
What
why
is
should
the
I go to the
problem?
police? You
There
declare.
is rule of law.
Why don't you declare it? Why don't you declare it? Who's questioning rule of law? Who's questioning rule of law? Why don't you declare the document?
It is of no use to, I think, it is of no use to talk to you.
What is
Please
of no
be
use?
Positive. Talk
No,
nicely.
it is of no use.
Have
Why is it of
discussion
no use?
properly.
Tell me one thing.
What is this?
No, I'm asking
Just
you.
are
I'm asking
accusing
you. Would the
from
emergency
day
happen
one-
if there was no Congress? Would the what the
what
Prime
are you
Minister has
asking?
said? Would the emergency? Prime Minister said, would the emergency happen if there was no Congress? Is the Prime Minister wrong there? Is he wrong? Would the Sikh riots happen if there was no Congress? Is he wrong?
Definitely.
Would 3,000
This-
Sikhs
this-
be butchered?
do you
Is he
not
wrong?
think-
Tell me.
do you not
tell
think-
me? Tell me. Tell me.
Do you,
tell
do
me.
you,
Yeah. Tell
do
me.
you not think? Do you not think Modi's regime is worse than emergency? This time, for last 8 years, he has.
Oh, so you're saying the
destroyed
emergency is
country.
better? So you are
It
trying
is
to,
Prime Minister
Mr. Dr.
Narendra Modi who is
Alvi, you are actually, no, so you feel 1975 to 77 is something to sort of celebrate, is it? Huh? You want us to forget it? Why didn't you change the history books and tell all the Congress historians to include a chapter on the emergency? Why didn't you?
Congress party has apologized so many times for emergency, but for last 8 years, it is the worse than emergency. What Modi ji is doing? Right?
Really? And tell me one thing. Tell
Do
me
you
one
not
thing.
think
Tell
that
me one
this
thing.
is the
Mr. Alvi, we are
worst
talking
time?
now, and I'm glad that you're talking.
It may be
tell
good
me.
time for
tell
you.
me. Okay, so tell
It
me.
may be good time for you, but not for
No,
the
no, no.
people of the
For
country.
me, no.
It is not
1
the
minute.
good time
1
for the
minute.
people of
1
the
minute.
country.
Mr. Alvi, listen
For
to me.
last 1
Listen
year,
to me. Listen to me.
farmers
Mr.
are sitting on
Listen
roads.
to me, Mr. Alvi. Mr. Alvi, listen. Oh, yeah. You care about farmers, is it? You care about farmers. Tell me one thing. Since you're talking about emergency times, you are the party which stopped Kishore Kumar from singing on air, right? Because he refused to lend his voice on All India Radio to support Indira Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi. You feel ashamed about that? You feel ashamed about the fact that Lata Mangeshkar's brother was kicked
what
out of his
happened to
job in
person-
All India Radio for
What-
presenting a poem written by Veer Savarkar? You feel ashamed about
okay.
that?
Okay.
You feel ashamed about
What happened-
Majroo
what
Sultanpuri
happened
being
to your
jailed
colleague?
for likening Nehru to Hitler? No, you feel ashamed about it or not? You tell me.
What?
Do you feel ashamed about it? Since you're
Listen,
talking, I didn't raise the issue of
listen,
emergency.
listen.
So you raised the issue of
Listen,
emergency, so
listen
debate with
to
me.
Listen to me.
Nehru banned books. Nehru banned books.
Listen
No,
to
I am
me.
listening. You created section 66A
Listen to me.
of the Information Technology Act, which was struck down by the Supreme Court.
What happened? What happened to Birsun Bajpayee? Whether you are feeling ashamed or not, he was your colleague. He was kicked out from ABP. Why?
No, he wasn't my colleague.
What
no.
was the?
No,
whether he had committed any crime?
Listen
Tell
to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
First you tell me this.
He was not my colleague.
He was
Second,
your colleague.
the problem with you
He
is
was
the
kicked
problem
out
with
by
you
Amit
is
Shah.
you no.
And you are
The problem
talking
with you.
about
The problem. No, he wasn't my colleague.
Emergency.
The problem with you is. The problem with you is. The problem with you is, Mr. Alvi, that you want to interfere in how
I have
media
no problem.
organizations operate.
I have no
You
problem.
ask ABP. My question today to you is, Rajiv Gandhi's anti-defamation law was rolled back, 1988. Rajiv Gandhi had passed a defamation law. Why? Because of Bofors. Where were you then? I am just curious to know, where were you then?
You did. You didn't answer
When
my
Salman
question about
Rushdie's
Birsun
novel
Bajpayee.
Satanic Verses was banned in 1988,
You should have.
which
no.
Chidambaram said was admitted to be a mistake. Where were you then? Where were you then? Tell me, no, I'm asking you a question. You can't
Why
say,
are
you
you
can't
not
come here
giving
on the
me
program
answer
and say, I can't take your questions. I am testing you. I am testing you. Please, I'm testing you. I'm testing, not your knowledge.
You should.
I'm testing your ability to
You
look
should
back into
answer.
history with a tinge
You
of
should
regret.
answer my-
And I'm asking you, you are talking about
should-
freedom of expression.
You should-
I'm asking you today, what is the problem, Rashid Alvi? You're getting nervous?
Why are you not answering
Getting a
about
little nervous
Birsun
today?
Bajpayee? Why are you not answering for
How do I know?
Tell me about person Baki.
How do I know? How
He
do I
was
know?
kicked out. Why?
Does he work in Republic? How do I
He
know?
was-
What a stupid
he was
question.
very-
Now,
you
what a
should know
stupid
it.
question.
When
Answer
you
my
know
answer my
everything about
question.
Congress,
The Nehru government.
when
The
you
Nehru
know
government.
everything about Congress,
No,
why
I
do you
think you're
know
not
about
prepared
it?
to speak to me.
You should know about it.
No,
You
I know
about
everything
Jawaharlal,
about the
you know
Congress.
about
Yes, I
Indira
know.
Gandhi,
Now you tell
but
me
you
one
do
thing.
not know this.
Tell me one thing.
Why?
Tell me one thing. Tell me. Tell
You
me.
should
Now I
answer
bring
this
you back to
question.
China. See, Mr. Alvi, if you're getting nervous, it's not my problem. But my job is to ask the questions.
Wah.
And I tell you, Mr. Alvi, never tell
I think
somebody
you
are
are
an anchor.
nervous.
Because
My
you
dear
also
builder,
are just
you
a
are
politician.
nervous. Because
You are
you are
just a
not-
politician.
you
You
are-
are just a politician.
You
No,
are-
I'm feeling
you
very
are
happy. In fact, I
unable-
can continue to
you are
interview you for the
unable
next
to
1 hour. Are you
explain.
ready? I will interview you for the next 1 hour. Are you ready? Are you ready?
No.
Are you ready or are you not
Basically,
ready?
I am not
This is my
interested-
style of interviewing. I'm
I am
interviewing
not
you with
interested
respect.
to give such kind of interviews. I'm not interested to give
What
such
kind of
type
interviews are you
interviews.
interested in giving?
Interview means interview.
What kind of interviews
And
are you
if
interested in giving?
accusing
My next
Congress
question to you
party
is, since you are
continuously,
concerned about
from
China,
Jawaharlal Nehru to
since you
Rahul
are concerned,
Gandhi,
no, I'm talking about Indian history.
if you-
I'm asking about Indian history. Yes, I'm critical of Nehru. Is that a crime? I'm very critical of Nehru. Is that a crime?
my dear brother,
I'm very critical.
you, my dear brother, go through properly Indian history. Then you should talk about history. You should talk
No.
about freedom movement.
Mr.
Who
Mr.
was with
Alvi,
English people?
Mr. Alvi,
who
Mr.
was
Alvi, I'll tell
fighting
you.
for the country.
I don't know. My view is that the Congress was soft with the British. What will you do? Arrest me? See, I don't believe the history that you people wrote. And I am from the generation which is going to challenge that version of history. You must reconcile yourself to the fact that you have tried to create a narrative, you try to erase a lot of history. We are going to bring it back. My question to you is this. Under whose government were there 600 incursions by the Chinese between 2010 and 2013? Since you people are mocking Jaishankar, mocking the government, you tell me how many incursions were there between 2010 and 2013? Where was Rahul Gandhi then? Where was Rashid Alvi then? Would you care to tell me?
Why are you not talking present time? What China
tell me.
is doing? Why Narendra Modi is not giving even a single
Bhai, I'm
statement
talking
against
present
China?
times. This is what
Why?
China had been doing.
Why
This is
Narendra
what
Modi
China
has
had
not
been
said-
doing when you were timid
even-
with them.
Even in United Nations.
Okay, now listen to me. I
even
think
in
you're
United
sweating.
Nations, he was bumped.
Take
He
one
was silent.
counter.
He didn't.
Now here's a
criticize
question.
China.
GVL is on the
didn't
debate.
criticize
1 point from
China.
GVL
Why?
is on the debate. I can't exclude him for solar. All right. One sec. Mr. Alvi, why are you getting uncomfortable? Why are you getting uncomfortable?
Thank you very much.
It's okay.
Thank you very much. Thank
People
you.
are watching
Thank
this.
you.
Why? Take some more questions. Take some more questions. Please take some more questions. What happened? What did I do wrong there? The nation wants to know. Opening the debate right now, J.C. Chandurkar of the Congress, Ghanshyam Tiwari, Suresh Mane and Professor D.K. Giri. Sorry for the delay in beginning this part. Savio Rodriguez, Sushil Pandit, Ramnik Maan and GVL Narasimha Rao. I want to start with Ghanshyam Tiwari on the points. I'm sure you saw the speech of the Prime Minister. Okay, Dr. Suresh Mane, you know my views on what the Prime Minister spoke. I've made it abundant in my initial conversation with Rashid Alvi. What is your take? This plain speak from the Prime Minister, wasn't it absolutely necessary?
Arnab, your intellectual fight with Rashid
Professor
Alvi
Giri, would you
is
like to
over.
start?
And we have been given a time.
Yes, yes. Yes,
we have
Suresh
been
Mane,
given
go
a
on.
Time to
Sorry for the delay.
express ourselves. Thank you very much. With regard to the PM speech today in Rajya Sabha, you made it very clear that the PM agenda is the first, nation is the first, then others. PM equally blamed the Congress party for several wounds to the nation, partly true, partly untrue. But Arnab, here the point is, what is the point in blaming the Congress alone now when lot of congressmen have joined the BJP and when lot of Congress people are working in the BJP in several states? So equally blame also goes to the BJP, not only the Congress, number one. Number two, as you know very well, I am holding a book of a constitutional law with updates from 1950 to 2020. 356 has been misused 113 times, 113 times. Congress party has a long rule, so definitely the larger blame going on the Congress party. But BJP is also not exception. So with regard to the federal structure of this country, Congress as well as the BJP has the least regard for the true federal spirit of the Indian Constitution and Indian democracy. So there is again PM, he can enjoy the liberty on the floor of the parliament, being a parliamentary matter of a privilege, he can speak anything. And if he is backed by the brutal majority in the Lok Sabha, he has every right to speak. But that does not mean whatever he speaks is the only correct thing. There are many more incorrect things which are the part of the PM's speech. And that needs some clarifications.
Okay, I'll let GVL respond. I've had too much time so far in the debate. GVL. GVL, would you like to respond straight to what Suresh Mane said? He said, you are no exception. You are muted. Can you just unmute yourself for a brief? Thank you. Can you unmute yourself for a minute? Thank you. Audio?
Arnab, BJP has equally become the Congress party. That's my straightway allegation against the BJP. BJP is another face of the Congress
Can I
party.
get the audio fixed, Anand?
Yeah. With same mistakes, with same...
Yeah, okay.
Arnab, can I?
With same
GVL.
dynastic politics.
Yes.
Yes.
Arnab, 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 I was expecting Rashid Alvi to at least participate in that two-person debate. You put me on the screen, but I patiently listened to your conversation with him. It is this ahankar that Honorable Prime Minister was referring to in Lok Sabha and also in Rajya Sabha today. They think they are bigger than the rest of the political class. They think they can talk down to everybody. I think, what does Rashid Alvi think of himself? Does he think he's another descendant from the dynastic successors of the Congress party? Okay, now coming to the points that were made just now, I think there is no special privileges for Prime Minister in Parliament. There is a privilege for every member of Parliament, and anyone who has got an allotted time can speak. You see, Mr. Kharge spoke for more than an hour. He spoke for almost 1 hour, 15 minutes. So did Rahul Gandhi in Lok Sabha. There is no bar on anyone speaking, but you can't have a spit and run politics. You cannot expect to throw muck and then run away and not get caught. I think what the Prime Minister did, what the Honorable Prime Minister did, was to show the mirror to the Congress party. For every allegation that the Congress party made on the floor of the House, he showed how ugly Congress performance has been with regard to all of them. And with respect to his own government's performance, he has contextualized how inflation in India is manageable while it's a runaway inflation everywhere else in the world, be it the US, UK, Eurozone. The entire world is experiencing historic inflation. We are the only country having high growth and low inflation. But what was the nature of debate in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? I think all of them wanted to really throw muck and run away. And Prime Minister did a very, very fine job of cleaning them and showing their how black their performance was and how unsustainable their comments are. So certainly the Prime Minister has given them I think he's given them a reply which they could not possibly tolerate. But he was well within his rights to really speak of the non-performance of the Congress government.
But DK says talk about the present.
Real maybe eloquent
DK.
about the praising Prime Minister, but yeah, just I want to tell you, Arnab, I was disappointed if Prime Minister would have talked about leading the nation, the vision of the nation. That would have been better instead of attacking the Congress. You know, that really brought the office of Prime Minister down, and one was expecting Honorable Prime Minister to say more about what he is planning, his 2024 vision and all that.
Sushil.
You know, he started in politics in 1914 with Congress Mukt Bharat. Now it is a Congress Jukt BJP. So it is Tweedledum and Tweedledee. You know, the Congress and BJP are really inseparable at the moment. So the Prime Minister using his energy and time to attacking Congress, which is almost a dead horse. Why should he? He should have talked about leading.
You're saying he should have ignored them. Okay. Ramnik has his hand up. Sushil has his hand up. Ramnik.
Yeah.
No. Ramnik.
Thank you. Thank you. Arnab, you know what the Prime Minister has done the last 2 days in the Parliament, first in the Lok Sabha, then in the Rajya Sabha, is that the Prime Minister has shown the demon the mirror. And the ugly face that they have seen of themselves is something they are really rattled at. The Congress, the left ecosystem, the Prime Minister calling out the ecosystem. They're calling out the Duffley gang, the Tukde gang. The Prime Minister has taken the demon head on. He's shown them the mirror and they don't like what they see. This is the reality of the Congress party. Like the Prime Minister said, had there been no Congress, there would have been no corruption. There have been no Kashmir problem. There would have been no Kashmiri Pandit exodus. There would have been no anti-Sikh genocide. Congressmen were the ones who killed Sikhs on the street of Delhi.
Under BJP
and elsewhere
rule,
in India.
is no corruption.
Hear me out. And listen, sir. And you also are rattled to hear the truth. Sir, please hear me out. Please hear me out. You had your word. Wait for your chance. Let's have some order in the debate.
But as if BJP rule is free from corruption.
For 50 years, we would have already been a developed country. We would have been Vishwaguru by now. You've seen the kind of progress this Prime Minister has delivered in 7 years. Compare it with your rule. Compare it with your time.
How many
Talk
poor
about
people
what you have done,
what is the
what wrong you have done. There is zero admission on the part of Congress party. There is your Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi said, "Jab bada ped girta hai to dharti hilti hai," and Sikhs get killed. 91-90 Kashmiri Pandit exodus, you were looking the other way. You were looking the other way. When my Kashmiri Pandit sisters, mothers were brutally raped, killed, shot in the head. कौन सा पानी यार? प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हर घर जल, हर घर नल चलाया. This is the Prime Minister who's taking potable drinking water to the people in the villages in the hinterlands. He is the one who's giving electricity to the villages. What are you even talking about? Why are you in such a state of denial? You are losing your leaders and you talk about Congress, BJP and whatnot.
Okay, Mr. Chandurkar. Mr. Chandurkar, can you hear me? You see what happened, Mr. Chandurkar.
Stop.
Can you hear me, Mr. Chandurkar?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? No, 1 minute, Mr. Chandurkar.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, see, Mr. Chandurkar.
Yes, I
the
can.
Prime Minister made many points today, and he said that had there been no Congress, what would have not happened, including he said that the massacre and genocide on Kashmiri Pandits would not have happened.
Yes.
These are the facts of our history. Mr. Chandurkar, you don't like to hear it, but you must hear it. Sushil Pandit, would you like to elaborate? Okay, you want to say something? Yeah.
Article 80.
Yeah.
I would like to refer Article 87 of the Constitution of India, which lays down the procedure for the presidential speech in the Parliament. And after the speech, the motion of thanks by the Parliament to the President. It is the government of India or the state governments, different departments, that they communicate their notes to the President or the Governor, and the speech is made. President's speech is a speech of a road map of a country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been, I think, is the only prime minister in the history of the nation of the prime ministers who has evaded this procedure and spoken with hatred against the party, spoken immaturely regarding Nehru's contribution, spoken immaturely regarding this Goa fight and all that. And in fact, Prime Minister Nehru.
No, what is wrong about what he said on Goa? Okay, Mr. Chandurkar. Mr. Chandurkar, Mr. Chandurkar, Mr. Chandurkar, Mr. Chandurkar, one point. Mr. Chandurkar, 1 minute. Mr. Chandurkar, 1 minute, can I ask you something? Just 1 point. You see, in any debate, if you make a point, somebody responds.
Yes, please,
and then that person makes a point, you respond. The point on federalism, right, and nationhood was made by the Congress party and responded to by the Prime Minister. In fact, I think if the Prime Minister had not responded, the debate would not have been a complete debate. Now, Nehru said, from the ramparts of the Red Fort, he gave up on the people of Goa. Is that wrong? Savio Rodriguez is there. And Prime Minister only reminded the people of India. What did Nehru do on August 15, 1955? He stood in the ramparts of the Red Fort and he refused any military help to the people of Goa. That is a betrayal to the people of Goa, and I don't understand why it's wrong.
Correct.
If the Prime Minister has pointed it out today in the context of the true federal spirit, Savio wants to respond to you. Savio Rodriguez, who's a BJP candidate from Goa, wants to respond to you. Savio Rodriguez, go ahead. No, Savio Rodriguez will respond to you, Mr. Chandurkar, and then I'll come back.
The truth of what Prime Minister Modi said, the truth of what Prime Minister Modi said must be accepted. Goa should have been a part of India much earlier. Goa should have been a part of India much earlier. But the government at that time did not work hard enough to ensure that the people of Goa were back with India. Goa took time to be liberated. Why was that? Why was that? Why were the people of Goa made to suffer? Why will Congress not answer for that? We got independence in 1947. The people of Goa continued to suffer till 1961.
Let me answer my first
Why?
answer.
You owe the people of Goa an answer. Congress owes the people of Goa an answer.
Mr. Chandurkar.
The duty.
Modi only stated
Prime
the fact.
Minister Nehru
Modi stated
has
the fact.
advised the nation that don't look only
just
for
want
your
to know
rights,
why
but you
it
must
took us
also
so
bother
many
for your
years to get
duties,
liberated.
which has been accepted by us. But what Narendra
I am
Modi
asking you a
says
simple question,
regarding the
sir.
Goa
Why
is
was
a
Goa
different
liberated
matter.
many years later?
Savio.
Just to
After
please the
1947 and
voters of
1961.
Goa in the ensuing elections, he
Not
has
to please
raised
the
a
voters of
point
Goa. It
that
is to state a
Jawaharlal
fact.
Nehru said this.
It
He
is to
wanted
state
to
a
make
fact.
a
It is
mind
to
of the
state
Goa.
a fact.
But is there a...
People of
And
Goa
in favor of
continue to
BJP, that is why he
suffer.
has-
Even
But
though
Mr.
India got
Chandurkar,
independence.
Mr. Chandurkar, you are saying... Mr. Chandurkar, you are saying, Mr. Chandurkar, you are saying the Prime Minister made a point with a view to the Goa elections. But Sushil Pandit, why then did the Prime Minister make a point about Kashmiri Pandits? Is he looking at them as a vote bank? Is there any particular election happening around the corner? Sushil Pandit wants to say something to you.
No,
Mr.
he
Pandit.
raised the point regarding Sikhs also.
In fact, the Prime
He raised
Minister
the point
left out a
regarding
few points that I would like to make
Yes,
here.
he did.
This was to
It
please
was
the
Lord
voters.
Mountbatten's
This was
daughter
to-
who
and
wrote
I
a
condemn
book
the speech.
saying that her father had told her mother, that is Edwina Mountbatten, to persuade Nehru to call for a ceasefire when India and Pakistan were warring over Kashmir.
Muslim voters.
And when the
He
daughter
raised
asked
the
her
point
father,
of Sikhs to place the
Why?
voters of Punjab. And he raised
when
the
Edwina
issue of
No. My
Mountbatten
point is,
my point is, but the daughter reports
It was
as to
nothing
why
but
would
election
Nehru stop the war.
No, my
Mountbatten
point
said,
is...
when you will ask, he will.
Mr. Chandurkar,
And Nehru did stop the war
Mr.
on 1st
Chandurkar,
of January 1949.
Mr. Chandurkar, there is a question which...
Yes, please.
Unilateral ceasefire.
Yeah.
He gifted 40%
You ask
of
him to
Jammu
See,
and
Mr.
Kashmir to
Chandurkar, Rashid
Pakistan
Alvi...
on 1st of January 1949.
Okay. On the debate, finally, I have GVL and I'll close with this. GVL is on the other side. Rashid Alvi backs Akhilesh Yadav on COVID vaccine remark. says the COVID vaccine can be misused against opposition leaders like the ED and the CBI. So Akhilesh Yadav has said it's a BJP vaccine, and Rashid Alvi, who unfortunately left, he said, GVL, he said that centre wants to politically kill every opposition leader, and if Yadav has fears that the vaccine can be used wrongly, then the centre should take opposition leaders in confidence. Tell me, Mr. Chandurkar, don't tell me. Tell Rashid, tell GVL Narasimha Rao, was that a right kind of comment to make? Today, what right do you have to question the government on the COVID vaccine when your party leaders like Rashid Alvi, who went away unfortunately, had said that it's possible the centre wants to kill opposition leaders using the COVID vaccine?
No, Mr. Arnab, I submit. I haven't heard Rashid saying this, what you are saying. During the elections, people
quoted.
make speeches just to attract the voters. And this is the right time to poison voters' mind by every party. So you cannot take it for granted, and nobody believes that. Even the opposition leader doesn't believe that. They go for vaccinations.
GVL.
No, Arnab, this is most atrocious explanation. Today, Honorable Prime Minister in Parliament itself called out all these political parties which wanted to increase vaccine hesitancy among people, raised questions about it. He said, we don't expect you to support the government. But why do you have to take such vengeful action towards people of India? Why do you have to rue the fact that India is tackling COVID so well? Why do you have to regret the fact that India is progressing well? I think be with the country, because you also represent a constituency or a state. I think you're taking politics too far. Today, Prime Minister questioned Congress party for not attending even a review meeting on COVID. And he questioned the Congress party in actually trying to mobilize other political parties in not supporting the government on COVID management. And he said, on the other hand, I've had more than 25
GVL, I'm sorry, run out of time. Tonight has been a great show. First, the debate on the hijab row, and then the debate on what the Prime Minister said in Parliament. And at the very end, Kirti Haini P says, "Hi Arnab sir, this hijab and saffron shawls issue should be stopped immediately. Only nationalism will bring unity. This religion and caste system will always divide us. And this kind of behavior among students is not a good lesson to the next generation." Absolutely. And sections of the media also should, and all politicians should stop instigating the students in the way that they have. Ladies and gentlemen, election season, and I know you are tuned in to Republic. We're working very hard with 100 strong teams on the ground in Uttar Pradesh and the other states to bring you the latest. And I know you will be here with me on the 10th of March. Ladies and gentlemen, we promise to see you tomorrow at 9. Good night and goodbye.